Ghanatube so na we share number one channel and news course so any day epa e wo man ni yeko nya ko hwe na papa na so na ya bam no mahu na mate nsem a course so any day epa e wo man ni na emom no nsem ni bi ebeto dwa na edu hwe de man say ya ebetena so na ya ka e di amamonti reshom so mo ko hwetie nsem a course so any day eba e wo man ni ba na ya ka wo ye so e di ama ya hwefo.
A travel ban, deportations, and matters of corruption at the Ghana Embassy in Washington, D.C. At the top of the agenda during the address, the press conference earlier today by the Foreign Affairs Minister, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, and so on matters of concern to many people who have seen things playing out. The Foreign Affairs Minister, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, says engagements have intensified between Ghana and the U.S. government to ensure Ghana is taking off the list of some 36 countries to be banned from entering the United States. Yeah, according to the minister, some Ghanaian citizens have overstayed their visa limits, prompting the U.S. government to place Ghana on that list. Take a look.
U.S. authorities have now formally brought to our attention, so it is no longer a leaked report. They inform us that 10 days ago, they were informed by the White House on the plans to take an expanded view of the President Trump bans. The ban, according to U.S. officials, will affect countries not complying with some 12 items, a criteria that they have outlined. Those 12 items, as they have formally communicated to us, they are varying. They cut across a wide array of matters of concern to U.S. authorities, including terrorism, countries that fund terrorism, state-sponsored terrorism. It includes countries that have become havens for violent extremists to operate. It's on their list. Then they are also talking about countries not cooperating with the ongoing deportations that the Trump administration is carrying out. Then there are issues to do with overstays. So countries that have a high rate of overstays, those who receive U.S. visas for specific periods and abuse the immigration laws of the United States, where they do not comply with the terms of their visa. So you have a 3-month visa, you are allowed to stay for 3 months or 6 months, pay your visa, but then you overstay. The U.S. officials have communicated to us that the challenge we face really relates to overstays, particularly with students, the students who we have been sending abroad. So students who go on government scholarship and also students who on their own apply to study in the United States of America. They have formally communicated to us that 21% is the default rate. 21% of students who have completed their courses have refused to return, according to U.S. data. They have told us that the allowance, they will permit countries doing below 15%. But if you are doing above 15%, then you will be flagged for further action. The engagements, I must say, are going well.
Well, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa says the engagements are going well, and we are on this list of countries to be affected by Donald Trump's travel ban because predominantly students who are studying, Ghanaian students studying in the United States, have overstayed their visa. These are the countries on that list. As Angola, Antigua, Barbuda, Benin, Bhutan, Burkina Faso, Cambodia, Cameroon, Cape Verde, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Djibouti, the Dominica, Ethiopia,
for any for and some I so any the airpa or my menu and our so egusu are with young
Egypt, Gabon, Gambia, unfortunately Ghana, in the Ivory Coast, Kyrgyzstan, Liberia, Malawi, Mauritania, Nigeria is there as well, and you have St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, Sao Tome and Principe, Senegal, South Sudan. It goes on and on. Syria, Tanzania, Tonga is there. There's Tuvalu, Uganda, Vanuatu, Zambia, Zimbabwe. You have it in there. Unfortunately, Ghana is on this list, an unenviable ranking. That's what we have in there. And one man who understands the workings of this situation that we find ourselves in, and also a former president of the Ghanaian community in Ohio's Columbus. And he has lectured in the United States for over 20 years. He's the dean of the academic affairs, the dean of the business school, I beg your pardon, the Academic City University. He's joining us on Zoom right now, Professor Enoch Enchi. Prof, good evening. Thank you for joining us. If you can unmute for me, please. Prof, if you can unmute for me.
Yes, greetings to all our listeners everywhere in the world, Alfred.
Perfect. Thank you for joining us. I mean, having lectured in the United States for this long and knowing how all of this works, what should the engagement be with the United States like so as to achieve the optimum objective of getting us off this list of countries to be possibly affected by a ban by the U.S. government from Ghanaians entering into the United States, because especially students have overstayed their visas? Prof.
Thank you very much. I think that immigration is a very worrying issue for most Africans. If you look at the list, out of the possible 36 countries that are going to be banned, fully or partially, 26 are in Africa. That means only 28 would not be banned. And that is a very worrying situation. We have a lot of our citizens out there in America. One city can have about 40,000. So Columbus, Cincinnati, Wichita, Chicago, New York, New Jersey. We have a lot of Ghanaians out there. Most of them are students. Some travel and overstay their visa because they want to stay. Some want to marry and go through the green card system and then become citizens. So it's a very difficult situation for our citizens out there. But I think that immigration crackdown has been in motion since January that Trump took over. And Africans have become easy targets because most of our citizens out there don't want to come back home. I think what the Foreign Affairs Minister is doing is in the right direction. We should continue to engage the American government about our citizens. They are part of us. They are Ghanaians. And there's a reason why they are there. Some want to make economic gains. The secret is that immigrants are target workers. They don't want to stay in the country forever. They will come back home one day. But it's economic reasons why they are there. And if you look at the threshold, they are saying that we have 21% that have completed their courses as students and they have refused to return back to Ghana. If it was lower, below 15%, then we wouldn't have been part of the list of the ban. But now 21%. And it's difficult to go and tell Kofi or Ahmad that you have to go so that the numbers will reduce because everybody wants to stay. So I think that the Foreign Affairs Minister, as he said, we should continue to engage the Trump administration and then also talk to our citizens to see those who want to come genuinely home and those who want to stay and the right way to stay out there.
But then there's this point you make about the Trump administration's crackdown on illegal immigrants. And then now we find ourselves in this web as well. How then do we navigate this path already with the established position of the administration as against what you're saying, that yes, these students, they are overstaying their visas because they are working and they want to make money. The administration doesn't care about that, right? That's why we're on this list.
Yes. But the reason why they are staying is that economically they want, some don't have jobs when they come back home. And it means that we also have to find a way of providing jobs for those who have finished school and they are coming back. One thing that I noticed when I was teaching in the U.S. Before moving to Ghana 3 years ago is that the Chinese citizens, they come to school, so grad programs, you have a lot of Chinese citizens. As soon as they finish, the next flight is there to pick them home. Now they have jobs. So they go, and the knowledge that you gain in America, come use it, let's compete with them. Because they know from history that when a nation reaches the apex of their power and wealth, another country takes over. So they come get the education of the West, and then they go back to their country, use the same knowledge to compete with them. But unfortunately, in our case, it's not like that. They finish school there, and we don't have any jobs back for them home. So they try to find a way to stay. And if you look at some of the menial jobs that our graduates there are doing, it's not good. So I would say that as we continue to
for any for and some I so any the airport or my mano and our so egusu are with young quem, young near
engage the American government as what to do with our citizens, because we can't leave them in the cold or in the sun in the hot like that. What we have to do is to engage them and then talk to our citizens, because the Ghanaian association that I was president of, we know where every Ghanaian is in every city that we find ourselves. We talk to them when immigrants come. Some of the time they sleep at the Ghana Association President House, and we help them to transition or assimilate into the system. So what we can do is that we should engage the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the embassies should engage the Ghanaian associations, because we know how to bring out our citizens who don't want to come out for the fear of being deported, so that we talk to them. Those who want to come home genuinely, yes, they can work through the process, and then we'll get a flight and bring them back home. Those who want to stay because they have married some other people and they are still working on their documentation, we should allow them to stay to finish the process. Because once you've married somebody, you go through the interview process and you're successful. Yes, you get a green card and you stay.
Okay, Prof, I wanted to stay with me, because the Foreign Affairs Minister also commented on another thing. He's giving indications that all persons involved in the corrupt acts that led to the closure of Ghana's embassy in Washington are being investigated by the Economic and Organized Crime Office, including the former ambassador Hajia Alima Mahama. The minister is saying recent media interviews by the former ambassador seeking to justify the illegal acts of one Fred Kwarteng will not be tolerated. He's also indicated that EOCO's investigations will bring all perpetrators to book. But before we hear from the minister, let's hear from Hajia Alima Mahama. She spoke to my colleague on 3FM 92.7 Black Rasta in an interview just about a week ago on this matter. Take a look.
Initially, he was a part owner, and later on, he became sole with other people. Okay, his partners. I knew he was the owner. And like I said, I went and observed the work that he started in 2019 was doing very well. And when you go and something is going on well, you don't mess it up.
Yeah, you don't change a winning team.
You don't change a winning team. It was going on well. And I was having my peace. Ghana embassy, everybody was saying that things were going on well. You go and change a team, and now their passports start messing up, or they have to come there in queues and all that. No, like what is happening now. No, I don't. They don't have to choose. That's what I said. You can do your self-addressed envelope. And when you are going to do your self-addressed envelope, you will go to either FedEx or UPS or the US postal system. You can choose to go to any of them, and then you will get a their envelopes. It will be FedEx envelope, just like courier service, and then they'll give you a label of your address, and you pay the right amount. They will charge you. You pay. Then now you fill your visa form. Put that visa form, that you print out that visa form. You pay online. Our payments is online. You don't bring any check to the embassy.
So that's Hajia Alima Mahama there, the immediate past ambassador of Ghana to the United States. And she is also, according to Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, a subject of investigation by the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO. In that interview with Black Rasta, she says she had peace of mind when this system put in place by Fred Kwarteng was working at the embassy. Well, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa says EOCO is investigating this matter, and she and others will be called for questioning. Take a look.
That since all those decisive and drastic actions were carried out, and also following the parliamentary briefing that I conducted last week, the former ambassador has been making some statements and seeking to undermine the measures that we have carried out and peddling a lot of untruths about her conduct in this whole sordid affair. We have provided Parliament with a full report of the fact-finding mission. Perhaps the former ambassador will have preferred that, just as others refused to act for many, many years, even when this matter came to their attention, she will have preferred that we also look the other way and not take action. Her Excellency Haji Halima Mahama must know that this is a new era. It is a reset era. We do not condone corruption. We do not tolerate naked conflict of interest. And we will not look the other way. We will not become complicit. And we will not, by our dereliction, encourage such terrible conduct which destroys the hard-won reputation of this ministry and Ghana's foreign service. The Honorable Minister at the time, the Honorable Shelley Ayokobuchi, did not authorize this. There is no documentation, no paperwork. We have combed all the files, both at headquarters and at the mission in Washington, and there is no authorization for this unconscionable contract. If this contract had come through this ministry and gone through our legal department, our lawyers here will have raised these matters. That you can't sign a contract like this. No termination clause, no duration, no prices, no figures. The almighty systems engineer can engineer any figure and do whatever he wants.
That's some troubling detail, Professor from someone who could talk there. Now we are hearing IOCO is investigating this matter. How do you expect things to play out in the coming days? Quickly, before I let you go.
First time since the period of the revolution that a former minister is refusing to return to Ghana to face his accusers. So we've seen a lot of corruption in the past administration, and I'm surprised. So if you look at Kwatin's case, if there's a contract, where is the term of reference of that contract? If there's no duration, there's no termination clause, and then Kwatin is being, asked to face the book in the interest of Ghanaians and the service, and then the former ambassador is trying to come in thinking that she might be implicated, then that's serious, very serious. So I think that I agree with the minister now that they should investigate this matter and then bring the person who was involved in signing the contract, where the terms of conference, we don't have them, the terms of reference rather, we don't have anything that terminates the contract, we don't have any duration of a contract. So what kind of contract was it? And these are the questions that legitimate thinking Ghanaians should be asking. And I think that not only should we come to the media and then talk about some of these things, but we should prosecute those individuals and then to serve as a deterrent to others. Because you look at the money involved in this contract, and visa fees that Ghanaians were paying, go to the embassies, including the U.S. embassy, and see the dilapidated, resources out there. And Nkrumah built all those embassies, and since then, various governments have not taken good care of our embassies. They are also not making the money to be self-sustained. So we are using money generated in Ghana to be paying those people there. And I think that we should be watching very well our foreign embassies and what they contribute to the development of Ghana.
And I appreciate your thoughts. Thank you. Professor Enoch Ntwi is a governance expert and also one-time lecturer, over 20 years experience lecturing in a number of universities in the United States, a former president of Ghanaians living in Ohio in the United States of America. Thank you very much for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. And there's more of this and some of the things that some of the top the former First Minister said on 3news.com and then also on TV3 Ghana on our Facebook page. So make some time and get on in there. We're going to go for this quick break. When we're back.
I'm Brian Pine, I'm going to was in Sim Michelle, and I hear from your hair, Ghanatube. So, this year, the minimum eating.